Hi, Richard. So nice to see you. How you doing?
Great to see you. Very well,
Good.
thank you. How about you?
Great. It's great. I'm so excited to introduce Ritz-Carlton to my clients. It's a product that I don't think everybody really has heard about, except in the hotel side of things. And so having a cruise ship, having a hotel on the water, I think will be pretty exciting. So please, tell us who you are and tell us a little bit more about Ritz.
Sure. I love talking about the Yacht collection. It's just really, it's an exciting product to have out there right now. Just this incredible experience. We started sailing with our first yachts back in 2018. Oh, sorry, started initially launched our concept in 2018. Started sailing with our first yacht back in October of 2022. And since then, we've really hit the ground running. We launched our second yacht in September last year. And then we're now really looking towards the future with our third yacht, Luminara, coming in July this year. So yeah, excited for the growth. Excited for this amazing fleet of ultra luxury super yachts really coming out. But a big question we often get is, what makes us so special? What makes us so different from everything else out there? Because there are a lot of other luxury cruise lines out there, but we kind of fit into our own unique space in the market, if you will. And that's really, we are, when you really break down to the core of what the Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection is, it is the combination of that luxury lifestyle of the Ritz-Carlton hotel experience combined with that ultra luxury yachting vacation experience. So we're not really a traditional cruise line, if you will. We're not, when you come on board, you're not going to really feel like you're on a cruise ship. It's very much a yachting experience on board, a little bit more low key. The amenities and the features on board are very different. And then in line with that, it's also very much a Ritz-Carlton hotel experience. The service, the atmosphere, the aesthetic, it all feels very similar to a Ritz-Carlton hotel. And of course, as you can see here, we do have a lot of amenities or additions to the experience. We have that all-inclusive value. You've got, as I mentioned, that personalized service of the Ritz-Carlton, multiple dining experiences ranging across nine different experiences on board, but five of them are restaurants, so five restaurants on board. We have that all suite accommodations, that marina, which I'm happy to talk about later, but it's just that incredible connection to the water from on board. Yeah, all the different social spaces, that the relaxed yachting pace, the overnights, the daytime ports and calls, and then of course the land experiences, the shore excursions, the different ways we can incorporate those experiences on land as well. But yeah, no, happy to talk, dive into some of those details. The big one, of course, we often get this question, what's included? Are you all inclusive? We are inclusive to a point. We cover a lot of the big items like the gratuities, the Wi-Fi, the beverages in the suite throughout the yachts, the entertainment on board. There are a couple items which are not included, and the notable ones there are your spa treatments on board. So we have this incredible partnership with Spa and 111 Skin. So we have these great products and this great experience in terms of the spa and the wellness on board. So those are additional fee items. The shore excursions are additional fee as well. And then one of our dining venues is additional. And this is just this incredible fine dining tasting experience. For each of our vessels, we partner with the Michelin level chef, and they create this just incredible tasting. On Ilma, and I'll come to it in a minute, we really have partnered with a fantastic chef, Michelin chef Fabio Trabocchi, and he's built this whole wine pair tasting experience. I'm really kind of getting ahead of myself there.
Everybody was concerned about food, so it's not so much ahead of yourself.
Oh yeah, and the food on board is unbelievable. With all our guest surveys coming back, we're scoring over 95% approval in our culinary. So what that tells us is that our guests are loving the food experience on board, the culinary experience, and then of course the beverage pairing that goes with that. So we have just an incredible range of beverages that can be paired with all the food across all the different dining venues.
That was wonderful.
Oh yeah, no, excited for it. Do you have any questions about any of that by any chance? Or
I don't think I do at this point. I think it's great that you covered off what's included because that's always the first question. You're right. And I don't think anybody expects the spa to be included. It would be real nice, but but having Wi-Fi and the gratuities and especially the beverages, that's important to most people.
Absolutely, yeah. No, feeling like you can come on board and just have everything available to you is it's part of. I would think it's part of that luxury experience for sure.
Yeah, no surprises.
Yes, right. But this is kind of that timeline that I chatted about with our first yacht of Rima launching October 2022. To give you an idea on some of the yachts, our first yacht is our smallest, the younger cousin, if you will, whereas our second and third yachts are a little bigger. They are sister ships. But with Avrima, we're looking at 149 suites on board, so just under 300 guests. All of our rooms across our entire fleet are suites, and every suite does have its own full terrace or balcony. So we are all terrace throughout all of our vessels. And that, ranges in space and size and, is very much in line with the Ritz-Carlton experience. When we launched Ilma in September last year, we got a little bit bigger. We went to 224 suites, so just under 450 guests. So we went a little bit wider and a little bit longer, but even though we did get bigger, we have with Ilma, if not the highest, one of the very, very highest guest to space ratios in the industry. So what that means is we have a ridiculous amount of space per guest on board. So that means our suites are massive, our public spaces are huge, and that's really so that our guests, they get that luxury aspect, they get the hotel aspect. They're not queuing or waiting in line for anything. And then also they don't feel like they're on a vessel with 450 other people. Space is definitely one of those definitions of luxury. And we are really committed to keeping that experience, to providing that experience to our guests. And then of
Yeah,
course,
you're right. Yeah, you're
sorry.
right about the space. It's important that people are not, cheek to jowl and fighting for the deck chairs and fighting for something at the buffet.
Absolutely.
This
Yes.
is a completely different experience.
Yes, it is about disengaging, being relaxed, really not feeling like you're in this vessel with so many people, to really have that luxury aspect. And then Luminar is going to be very, very similar. We have added one additional category there, so 226 suites, additional two suites versus Ilma's 224. So just over 450 guests on that one. But again, that incredible guest to space ratio is still very much in presence there. And so the experience that our guests are finding and loving on Ilma, and Ilma has had such a successful launch since September. She has really, really outperformed our expectations. We are very, very happy with Ilma so far, and the expectations for Luminar are extremely high since Ilma has performed so well for us. Just to give you a little bit more in depth, like on some of the specs there. Evrima, our first yacht, 149 suites as I mentioned, just under 300 guests, and then you have that staff to guest ratio of almost 1 to 1. So that's really that Ritz-Carlton personalized level of service coming in, really, really personalized, and just making sure that our guests every need is met, that if any kind of service that they're looking for, we're there to provide it. This is Ilma. Again, you can see pretty much personalized in terms of the service, and then that huge guest to space ratio.
And this ship is double the size and more, by the looks of it.
That's right. Yes, we went a lot bigger, and that's really because of that space aspect. We really wanted to make sure that our guests get that luxury side. And then, of course, I'd mentioned the specialty restaurants on board. So to give you some insight, we have the 5 restaurants on board. 4 are included, and they range from like our international to our Mediterranean to Asian fusion, and then we have this. This is on our second yacht, Ilma, Seta Suit Ilma, which is this fine dining Italian tasting experience, and this is partnered with Michelin chef Fabio Trabocchi. It is a 10-course wine paired tasting experience. This It's a whole culinary journey. It lasts about 2.5 to 3 hours, and you kind of just roll out at the end of the night, and it is incredible. I highly recommend it. We open for bookings for this restaurant about 4 months before the sailing starts. It's the only restaurant on board where we do open before the voyage. All the other venues are booked when the guests get on board, when our guests get on board. But it's one reservation per suite, and we do see this venue move very quickly. It's very popular with our guests. Yeah, happy to talk about the suites as well. Unless you have any questions or anything on.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be curious to know the average age on board. Do you have a typical type of client that would be a first time cruiser, or lots and lots of experience in cruising? And I know we don't want to call you guys a cruise line, but you are.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's a good point. Our when I was last on board, which was a few weeks ago, our captain put it very well. He said, "We're a cruise ship, but we're a cruise ship in yacht clothing." So the experience is very much in line with the yachting experience and that Ritz-Carlton hotel experience. But we are a cruise line. Yeah, absolutely. But no, the kind of guests that you typically see on board. So about half of the guests who do sail with us haven't cruised before. We have a lot of guests join us from not only Ritz-Carlton on land, but other Marriott luxury brands like St. Regis or Bulgari, or beyond Marriott, like Four Seasons. Our guests see the Ritz-Carlton brand. If they've stayed at Ritz-Carlton on land, they have some idea about what the experience is going to be on board. But a lot of our guests, they recognize the brand, they trust the service and the experience attached to Ritz-Carlton, and they're willing to sail with us where they wouldn't typically look at a cruise vacation as an option. So we definitely see a lot of guests come over from land, luxury experiences on land, and then from the cruise side, a lot of the guests who do come over, about half of the guests who sail with us, have cruised before, and they are. Typically we see them come over from Crystal, a few guests from Explorer, Silver Sea, Seabourn, Sea Dream. Those are the kind of luxury cruisers who find a home with the Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection as well.
Yeah, that's what I would expect. That's what I would have expected. Yes.
Oh, right. Yeah. The marina adds a different aspect to it, really. And if you've been on Seabourn or Sea Dream, and I think some of those vessels do have the marina touch, it gives you, that's kind of an attractive aspect when you're anchoring. It's a different kind of connection, different kind of vacation experience. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. But yes, tell us about the suites, because they.
Oh, sure. Well, this is I've really focused in on Ilma here, our latest vessel release. And we range across 7 categories of suites with Ilma, ranging from our owners, which are just stunning. We have 8 owner suites on board. And you're looking at, over 1,000 square feet interior space alone, plus again on the terrace. So you have just incredible amount of space with our top level suites, indoor outdoor dining, lounges, showers. There's a whirlpool out on the terrace. Just really all the bells and whistles thrown in for this category. So really fantastic. Another one that's been a huge hit with our guests is the concierge suite. So it's this square suite layout, just a fantastic amount of space. Terrace access from the bedroom and the living room. So it's actually the only category which has that access from both spaces. What's really great about our suites typically is that, except for the entry level, all of them have the separation of personal and social space. So a lot of the categories will have pocket doors that separate. You close in your bedroom and your bathroom space, and then if you're socializing, or if you're hosting, anyone on there, there's dining, there's lounge space, there's that terrace access, but you can really keep your personal spaces separate, which is fantastic. But yeah, we range from our owners and concierge all the way through to our entry level. Our leading category is the terrace suite. And that is, on Ilma again, that space factor is really present. It's up to over 450 square
I
feet
know.
of
I'm
space.
looking at that. I can't believe the size of that of that cabin.
It's big. It's a lot of
Suite,
space,
sorry, not cabin, suite.
right? And that's only on the interior, and then plus an additional up to over 150 square feet of terrace. So, the depending where this category is on the vessel, it like when you're lower, you have more terrace space, and as you get higher, your terrace space goes smaller and smaller, depending on the heights. It has to adjust. So, it does vary in size, but it is just an incredible, experience in terms of the suites from the start. Um, we do also have, a lot of fantastic events and activities for our guests to enjoy. I say we're not really a cruise experience, and we're not, we don't have a theater on board. We don't have a casino on board. We are very much in line with a yachting experience. You're going to find, we have 5 restaurants, but there's no main dining space. These restaurants are spaced out really thoughtfully throughout the vessel. We have these social spaces which are taken over. So we don't have a theater, but we have these fantastic social spaces where, we might have a Broadway singer that we've brought on sing in the living room one night, and then down in the marina terrace the next night, or up in the pool deck, and then we'll have entertainers and show people come on, like comedians and magicians and so on, and they'll take over one of these social spaces and really create more of an intimate, more elevated experience, instead of having just a theater where everybody just gathers and watches a show and then disperses afterwards. It's really, a thoughtfully placed events which will happen, and then there's socializing going on before and after. There's full service bars, there's servers everywhere, very high touch and elevated event experiences. We also have the theme nights. So we have the white party, the Havana night, the disco night. So our guests can really dress up and get involved with these theme nights. And then especially in the Caribbean, we have, this exclusive beachside barbecue. So it's not on every single sailing, but on a number of the voyages, we will host a barbecue on a local beach. We'll invite all our guests to come out and, enjoy the water and enjoy a barbecue with us ashore.
I'm sure that's a big hit.
It is. It's very, very popular, and it's always a big hit when we do it. But this is definitely one of the social spaces on board. The pool deck up on deck 10, deck 11. So this is just a fantastic space. Really, really pretty big size pool for the vessel of our size, and really gives our guests the opportunity to get the swimming experience. And then there's the full service bar just behind the pool over there. And then another great space for those guests who like a cigar, who like the bourbons and the cognacs. We do have the humidor. We have a fantastic partnership with Davidoff, so a great range of series of cigars on board. And then, of course, world-class bourbons and cognacs like Puppy Van Winkle and so on for our guests to enjoy. But yeah, just very, very elevated experience there. And then I did briefly mention the marina, but that connection with the water is just so fantastic. It's just such an opportunity for our guests to enjoy. So when we anchor, the weather does have to be good, and the port authorities do have to approve it. But when we anchor, we can open up the marina at the back of the yacht. Guests can paddleboard, they can kayak. There is, the ocean pool back there. This is on our second yacht, Ilma. We have this incredible aquabana back there with floating lounges, floating cabanas, just a whole lot of fun to be had at the back of the vessel there. And then just in from that, you actually have the marina terrace. So this overlooks the marina platform itself. It is just a great space to relax. There's a full service cocktail bar just in from the terrace there. We have these wings on the side of the yacht which open up. We put tables and chairs out there, so guests can really just relax, just steps above the water, and just really enjoy. This is a great space for sundowners or sunset cocktails if you would like, or even just during the day. Often we'll set up a DJ at the space when the marina is open. So there's music, there's atmosphere, there's cocktails, there's just a great vibe going on at the back of the yacht here. And this is really that quintessential yachting experience, if you will.
I can't imagine anybody ever wanting to get off the yacht and go
That,
and
that
see.
is the thing. It's hard to it's hard to get off when there's all this excitement going on board. Absolutely. And then, really, where are we going? When are we going there? So that's a big question.
Yeah, that
Where
was
would
my
you
next
like to go
question.
with us? So as of right now, both of our yachts are in Caribbean. In a few weeks, we'll see them move over to the Mediterranean, and come June, Ilma, our second yacht, will make its first move into Northern Europe. So this is a brand new itinerary set for us. We're arranging throughout Northern Europe, so Baltic, Norway, circumnavigating Iceland, heading down to the UK. We are going back to Northern Europe again in 2026. So very similar regions, a lot of similar ports, some new additions going on there. But yeah, we'll explore the entire Northern European region in this year for the first time, and then again next year. We are seeing our third yacht, Luminara, launching in July 3rd. She is very much on schedule. Actually, she might be ahead of schedule. I saw some images of her this morning, so very, very excited for that upcoming release. And Luminara will really finish out the mid-season, and then come about mid-October, early November, we'll see her make her way down to Asia for the first time for us. So end of this year, start of 2026, we have a number of itineraries ranging from Singapore through to Tokyo, in and around and throughout Asia. Just really going in depth with this region, going to a lot of unique ports, a lot of overnights, and early arrivals and late departures. Really just exploring this region. My personal favorite sailing right now is out of Asia. It's a 12 nights Hong Kong to Singapore sailing. It's 8 ports, four sailing days, but it has this focus on Philippines, which is just really exciting. Going to Palawan, going to Puerto Princesa, going to Boracay, just going to some of these destinations, which are typically really hard to get to. And a lot of cruise lines don't really go to a lot of these regions, so a lot of these ports. So kind of exciting to explore this, I would say, untapped area of Asia. And then, of course, after the Asia season, we have some fantastic circumnavigations of Japan, especially around about April, which of course is that cherry blossom season. So exciting for that. But after those circumnavigations, we will see Luminara head up to Alaska for the first time for us. So yeah, we're moving into Alaska for the summer of 2026. Really excited to see the Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection up there. I think it's going to be fantastic to have this ultra luxury yachting experience available to our guests in Alaska.
Mhm.
These are itineraries ranging from we're on the west coast, of course, Inside Passage, coming out of Vancouver a lot. There's some Vancouver round trips, and then we'd have these north and south sailings going up to Whittier, and then from Whittier back down again to Vancouver.
What a wonderful itinerary to be on a smaller vessel.
Yes,
Mhm.
I agree. I'm really excited for it. I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with the marina in Alaska as well. How they're going to leverage that opportunity. Of course, right as of right now, I actually don't know what they're going to do with it. So don't hold me to anything. But I have personally, I have high expectations for the marina experience.
No doubt, no doubt.
Oh, yeah. Um, And then, of course, I do like to talk about air hotel and transfers too. We have the opportunity to really build a seamless vacation experience for your clients, for our guests. We have that partnership with Marriott Luxury brands. So, the pre and post hotel stays, we can absolutely take care of that. The air, we have in-house team that can take care of the air, business class, first class, whatever your clients would be interested in. And then, of course, we can take care of the transfers in between everything. So really, we do provide the opportunity to book the entire vacation package through us. Of course, that is coming through you, Claire. That would be, you obviously would have your own ways about that as well. So really, that is the opportunity from our side, but no obligation, of course, to commit to that, if you will.
That's right. We always do what's best for the client, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Mhm,
Whatever is best for the client.
mhm.
And that's really, just a high level introduction, really, from my side. As I said, I can go on and on about the Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection. I'm always happy to chat about it. But yeah, if you have any questions, happy to dive into
I
that.
think you've covered it off, and you've definitely, excited me to maybe that might be my next experience. But I know I have clients who would absolutely love this experience, and they're either ready to try cruising or they have been on some of the other lines and are ready for a change. And I really appreciate the time you've taken to introduce this, and I will be in touch for
All
sure.
right. Yes. Let me know if I can help with anything. But
Great.
yeah, thank you again for having me on here to really kind of intro you and everyone to the Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection experience. And yeah, looking forward to hosting you on board.
Great.